I've seen it happening over the last 10 years, a lot more. They've been pushing in this snitch culture. Snitch on your neighbours if they're doing this. Snitch on people if they're doing that. There's Karen, you got Karens. It's like the snitch thing for them is a big movement. And black community support officers are the snitches of the police. These COVID officers are going to be the same thing, but it's going to be to do with COVID, which is not just a general misdemeanor or someone misbehaving on the street. It's something to do with, which is the global pandemic, apparently. So it's going to be dealt with quite seriously. So in that, there's going to be a lot of people flocking to the job. No doubt about that. There's going to be you're going to see a lot more snitches on the road. Yo, what's going on, people? Big up yourselves all the time, every time. Welcome back to another episode of Real Fake News with myself, Jago, and today I have got...
You got your girl, Renee. Hello, hi, hope you're all good.
Dino Kai Senior. Bless family.
And you know what time it is. B.Dot, man like. Let's go, man.
Jeez. We're firstly going to jump on vaccines, as it's so impertinent to what's going on right now. We can see there's been a big push of people being vaccinated. There has been a lot of information on the reasons why and the consequences of the vaccine. And they are pushing people back into schools, which they apparently are saying are the high end of high risk areas, basically, where you have a lot of people in one small area.
Well, have you not heard like one of the latest things? I think it's in Oxford. One of the trials that they did, somebody's had like a really bad reaction of some sort. So I think they've had to stop the trial for the moment, obviously.
But they've now resumed them. They've carried them on. They're starting them.
Have they? Are they?
Yeah, they're about to start them again.
Okay.
So
what happened with all of that then?
Well, the way I see it is obviously they've tried it. You know what I mean? Someone's actually had a bad reaction to it. They've seen how bad it is, and to them, I believe it's to them, because to us, obviously, that's bad. We should be finding out way more of what's going on to find out the statistics and all what needs to be found out, so we can make sure that doesn't happen. And then it can actually be licensed, because as we know, it's not licensed; it's unlicensed, and they're trying to push it out. Yeah, so like I do believe that it's a bit mad right now, isn't it, with this vaccine and the person that actually got ill. I don't really think they don't. To them, it doesn't matter. They're still going to try and roll it out.
It's stats.
I still, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's quotas, stats and quotas. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a bit crazy to me, man.
I'm going to give you one stat. About 30 years ago, there was a fella named Kurt Cobain. He put a shotgun in his mouth and he pulled the trigger.
Lead singer of Nirvana.
Yeah, there you go. Not anymore, though.
Not anymore.
No, I'm playing. So, if you put yourself forward, it's Kurt Cobain. You did it to yourself. He's not by force, so it's all options. True. And if you want to be the candidate, you will get elected. True. It's all options. You know, birds, when they learn to fly, this is why we're all going back to nature, because they don't jump from the branch to learn if they can fly and then bust their beak on their way down, because they can't. They start from the ground, they check it out slowly, nature. And if English people are going to be so propagated and fearful, like they were with the Iraq War, where they believed that in 40 minutes, Saddam, after a 14-year trade embargo, could send a missile from Iraq to London to lick you where you dip on a bus. Then go get it. You put both barrels in your mouth, Kurt Cobain, and live your best life for the last 30 seconds of it. Not me, not mine.
I hear that.
So you basically believe like that person is a star in their own movie. They need to live in their movie right now.
Absolutely. Enjoy it and get all your credits and your juice.
Yeah. But, I mean, one would argue against that maybe to the fact of, well, the person might have done the test because they've been coerced for the last 6 months through all the media that this is the right way to go. How about that?
Okay. I love this new creation in the last couple of years called Google, where you can do your own independent research and remain an independent thinker.
They can edit. Remember, they can edit that though.
No, you can edit anything, but what you got to know is you don't have enough information to make a safe decision. At the beginning of this little experiment, let's just start from the beginning. When bullets fly, don't try out where they're coming from. Duck and cover your ass. So it doesn't matter whether it came from a Chinese lab, a US lab, via China, via Bill Gates, tying the two together. Follow the money. Bill Gates was working. This is a guy, and now I'm going to say something about business because we're dealing with a corporate team.
Yeah.
Every year, you can either pay tax or you can make a donation to a charity. Him and his wife set up their own foundation where they're only signatories that need to release the money.
The Bill and Melinda
Gates
Gates
Foundation. Every year, this guy's letting go tens of millions or billions that would otherwise be in tax. It's only a game show, but it's not child's play. So after 30 years, my man has amassed billions in this thing. Now, when he goes to a pharmaceutical company, that's not philanthropic money, that's venture capital money. And he wants a return on his investment. So if you're just strictly following the money now, and you're watching the two put themselves up front, this is a corporate thing. Now, when you've been watching a eugenist, who we've got video saying he wanted to lessen populations with vaccinations, it's not rocket science for me. He has told me enough. He wanted to be president. I've elected him. I'm not going outside anymore. Not me, not mine. He's presenting me with the evidence that I need. Now, if you're not aware of that and you don't do your due diligence and you're putting something in your body in the age of nanotechnology and chips, that's on you. And God bless you. It's your human right to be an imbecile.
I hear that. But there are weak-minded people. There are weak-minded people who are very easily swayed.
That's okay. And the colours for them. Natural selection. With a bit
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Jeez.
You think it's all Darwinian in the end? It's all Darwinian.
Yeah, it's all straight. Yeah, straight down. Okay, that's lovely. So
I have a question though. So you know, like you're saying, these particular people who put themselves forward for trials and things, we're calling them weak-minded, like they can't think for themselves. How else would you then think that we would find a vaccine? Because the only way to find it is to do trials and to do tests. No? Yes,
yeah, of
no?
course. Yeah, of course. But
Yeah.
I mean, people putting themselves forward. It was just like with the biometric chip that people have done in Sweden. They think it's a popular thing to do, and it's something to do in it to get ahead of the crowd. So
Which
people,
involves Bill Gates again, obviously.
I mean, like now, no one needs to go really and go and get the vaccination because there's a global understanding that there isn't a vaccination there yet. So anyone that actually goes and receives something right now, they are shooting themselves in the foot because
but they're not getting it for the reason that they know that it works. I think it's very clear that we know that it doesn't work, but they're going there to test it to see what happens, how it works, and what they can do better. Whereas I for sure as hell would not put myself forward for the vaccine. So I'll make that very clear. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, they have to test it on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference.
People.
There's a difference between scientists testing out this virus on cells and then further on humans. There's a difference between that and someone like me just saying, you know what, let me go and get the vaccine. I've got nothing to do with the science of it.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
you
going
got
to
to
get the
remember
vaccine.
as well, yeah, people, like, these are medical trials, innit? And you know, like, they know deep down there is a possibility that they could get hurt or fall ill through something else. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Pharmaceutical companies offer money, innit? A lot of people do a lot of different things for money, and we all know that. That's an absolute guaranteed fact, innit? You know?
Yeah.
And everybody who stayed at home is on their face right now.
Say that again?
Everybody who stayed at home is on their face. Look, this is a global reset, and they're going to bring this thing back for the sequel in October. Not that the virus will have evolved or be more stringent, more virulent in October, but people aren't where they need them. You need a nation on their knees. First thing you do, sow fear. Now, if you consume fear, fear, obey, consume. Beautiful formula. Fear, obey, consume. That's the formula that these people are playing into. Now, if you don't feel that the thing is a threat for you, here's my recommendation. Go and spend a $1 in Lidl. Go and buy tuna, pasta, and water, and stay in a yard. You'll make it.
I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, I mean...
And let them keep their £300 for clinical trials.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of, I suppose, the core issue is through the psychology, because once you've gone into that mindset of anxiety and depression, your body's just going to start producing that in your body, and you're going to go through madnesses physically and psychologically. And being on a lockdown, again, which I've always said was the dumbest thing to do, because for our immune system, we need to be interacting with viruses and bacteria. And in the time when we interact with them the most, over summertime, when we're all out, we're all naked more or less, we're all touching things and that's the time when we're most getting our immunity. And we've basically been locked off on that. And now, physically, our bodies ain't going to be as strong as they were last year, the year before, the year before. We've lost that like 4 months worth of immune building. So when October does come and it starts getting cold, our bodies are already on a low. So we're already going to get attacked easily. But yeah, man, like I said, again, I think psychology is a major thing for me, because when you're happy, you produce endorphins, which gives your body so much more energy, motivation, everything else. When you're not on that level, your body's doing the opposite. And that's all they've been doing for us for the last 6 months, inducing fear into our lives through all media, everything, so that we actually go down that route. That's what I think personally, anyway.
You do this, and then obviously you've gave us a choice, and I believe the public, right, cool, they'll make a choice, whatever it is. But if you're like, you've got to do this, and it's out the blue, remember, these are not things they're trying to say, this is going to happen at this point in time. Like, the only things they're implementing, saying that's happening, is with fines and stuff. When they're saying a new rule comes out, that comes out on a whim, on a mad whim, it's out of nowhere. They're just standing up on that plinth saying, right, this is going to happen from this time, out of nowhere.
And this is why I said understand sovereignty, because you got to understand God's law, common law, and then legislative law. So if you just want to circumvent that, start to understand common law. You're not going to do it by yourself. You better build a peer base and do that. And the same time you're doing that, you better be training physically. I know today, I'm in the park with 15 guys at 46 years old, training physically, talking about common law, so that we've got a peer base where nobody is having anything as African men and fathers. That's a black fathers group, and nobody is having anything. But it's only for those of a similar ilk, right? So if Kurt Cobain wants to do their thing, as I said, natural selection. Not everybody's gonna make it in this thing, you know. It's a reset.
Yeah.
Don't look for the liabilities. Look for those of a similar ilk who you can rely on for a particular thing. Trust is overrated, all encompassing. When I know a man, I know I can rely on him for a particular thing. I know I can rely on a woman for a particular thing. It's not everything. And that's what community is made up of. Those of a similar ilk who are going to be assets, not liabilities.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Gonna get mercenary.
I'll definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I believe it could, like, I believe it could get mercenary, like, in places. I hear that.
Yeah, so going on to the other thing with the vaccines are they've got this now push of a COVID officer, which pays £11 an hour, which is better than what I get paid at my retail job. My retail job pays well as well. That's the thing. Like this, if I was given the opportunity to take this job with the same hours, I might take it because of the money. And that's how tasty
but
this job is.
But think about the stress that comes along with that job.
Yeah, but you're not thinking about the stress. You're thinking about you've been given powers to go out, tell people whatever.
What powers? You've been given powers to tell someone, please don't stand next to that person because of COVID-19. That's the power you've been given. You know that, right?
That won't be the full extent of it, though. It won't go
like
that.
Really and true. Like when it comes to COVID marshals, bro.
B.Dot, this is what will happen, yeah? An officer, will get involved with a situation. The situation doesn't comply with the officer, then the officer will call the police, and then the police will be involved. Straight. And then you're breaking laws, you got penalty. So the COVID officer is just like a community support officer. Someone who's there on the road snitching, getting paid £11 an hour to do nothing. There's no responsibilities, there's no major things happening. All you're doing is going about like a community support officer with your friends.
Yeah, but hear what though, bro? Hear what? If you have to call someone else to come and deal with something, what power do you actually have?
It doesn't matter because basically the power is the long extent of the arm. So regardless if they don't have power right there on that point, they can still get that person in trouble, get them fined, and they can look big. Simple.
Jago.
Yeah.
People don't walk around with license plates on their neck. And if you're a biscuit bodyguard, you're only going to catch the people that are slipping. A biscuit bodyguard is no authority to anybody. If you stand there and wait for it to go down in Chinatown, you're a sucker. And you deserve what you get. We've been talking about the slow sheep, but you're not talking about the quick ones. You know, the same way that man represents his chin, if he wants to take something from you. Like you could want to take my phone, and I say, you can have it if you want it more than me. But if you want it more than me, I've got to tell you what it comes with. If you want to take my phone, that means you want to take my pride and you want to take my manhood. Now, if you want my manhood more than me, take the phone. But you don't need to have that conversation with a biscuit bodyguard. You don't need to engage them. What they are is the facilitator for the slow sheep. Just all authority is self-imposed bar none. If you're standing there because a biscuit bodyguard is making a request, you're a sucker and you deserve everything you get. But there's room for suckers. It's okay.
No, I hear that. I mean, for me, it's because I've seen it happening over the last 10 years, a lot more. They've been pushing in this snitch culture. Snitch on your neighbours if they're doing this. Snitch on people if they're doing that. There's Karen, you got Karens. It's like the snitch thing for them is a big movement, and black community support officers are the snitches of the police. These COVID officers are going to be the same thing, but it's going to be to do with COVID, which is not just a general misdemeanor or someone misbehaving on the street. It's something to do with, which is the global pandemic, apparently. So it's going to be dealt with quite seriously. So in that, there's going to be a lot of people flocking to the job. No doubt about that. There's going to be you're going to see a lot more snitches on the road.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see more sections. You're not going to have all sorts of people flocking to this job. You're going to have sections. So I believe two particular sections. Yeah, one that actually Renee's mentioned earlier. Yeah, was like the controlling and the bullying types. They're going to think they're going to have a certain level of control and they're going to try and do this stuff, which is going to cause fights for me. And I believe it's going to cause someone to get punched in the face, and it's going to cause a madness. People get arrested, people get beaten up, people get hurt. Unfortunate, but I believe that's going to happen. The second section of people, which I think are the scarier type, really, are busybodies. People that like to get up in people's business. Talking one thing, they can tell you what your breath smells like, and before you turn around, they know your business.
I hear all that.
You know what I mean? Like
I would 100% agree with you if you said that 5 years ago, 2 years ago, when the world was normal, innit? But the world isn't normal now, yeah. And unemployment rate has shot up. People need work. People need money. So there's more people out there unemployed than busybodies and bullied. They're the people that are going to get in these jobs.
That's true. There's not. But at the same time, you've got people who, so you've got the type of people who are shit bored and they still won't get involved in this type of thing because of the type of nature that it is.
Yeah.
People are still not wearing masks. They're still not abiding by laws. So there's still going to be people with the same type of mentality when it comes to anything which is policing people.
But it's money. Yeah. It's money. It's like, You've got a family.
It's money,
yeah?
but it's not,
if you've got a family, if you've got a family with no income, you're gonna go and get the job, innit?
Yeah, it's not money in the right way. The people
But
don't want to be making money in that way.
Well, it's the same way as getting money as a community support officer and someone that's doing staffing at the Olympics. It's the same as getting money as a police officer. It's something that you wouldn't normally do. But if you're in a situation, where you haven't got money and you have to pay bills, people will go to that job. Yeah,
but
it's not like they said. It's not like they said it's a £6 an hour job, like you can get a KFC or £9 an hour job where you can get in retail stores. It's £11 an hour job. You don't have to have no skills or abilities to go and get these jobs. You need to apply, and they probably give you a COVID test yourself, and then they'll probably give you the job. That's how easy it is to get that job.
Well, no, because you need that SIA badge thing, don't you?
You need an SIA license firstly, and not only that. Think, bruv, I understand what you're saying, bruv. There are going to be people that need to pay bills, need to do this. But do you think that half the public out here are going to want the stress that comes with that job?
What stress?
Yeah.
Bruv, there's going to be stress for them, bruv.
It's like a community
Think
support
about it.
officer. There is no stress.
Sorry,
You're walking about.
No, I'm just saying, people already have lost trust in the government. Why are they going to work for the government?
It doesn't matter if you're working for the government. It doesn't matter if you're working for the government or not. Does it mean if I don't trust my boss, I wouldn't work for my boss? It's money. If I've got to pay bills, it doesn't matter if I trust who I'm working for. I'm still going to go out and make money, unless I can make money myself.
Maybe not trust, but they don't. The people now, they don't have any kind of connection or feeling towards the government. Then forget trust. There's just no connection there. They're fucked up so bad. People don't want to be associated with them like that.
We know this in life, all of that is nothing, innit? The feelings for people, the loyalty, the love you have for people, the hate you have for people, that's nothing. All it comes down to is if you need money, you will go to a shop and rob it, Even though it's against the law, you'll go and do it because you need the money.
Think like that.
So
not everyone thinks like that.
At the moment, loads of people got unemployed. Loads of people ain't getting jobs. People on 0-hour contracts. People are looking for money. If this job is there and it's easy to get the money that you want to get, then people are going to go there. Even if they didn't think they wanted to go there, they will end up going there because there's no other places to go. What other places can you go for money?
But that's just like me saying, okay, it's easy to sell yourself, so I'm just going to go and sell myself on the street or on bloody OnlyFans. But I'm not going to do that. Who's going to do that?
So for instance, if you went, for me, I wouldn't sell myself on the street now. But for instance, if I got for the next 5 years, if I got say for instance, I got abused, for time, and I was demeaned and like my whole personality disappeared. I had nothing, and I needed money. Then what happens is that I will go and get that money. Now that is right down rock bottom. People ain't at rock bottom yet. People are unemployed. People are still trying to search for money. People are still trying to find jobs and that. But when they hit the bottom, they're different.
Jago.
Yeah.
Let's not all face the wall for punishment time just yet. B.Dot called it. There's 2 candidates that are the natural selection for that job. One is the bully boy who can't make it to become a Fed. The same ones that become the security, and one of them is a busybody. You see the ones that make up the numbers. They're the same ones that will let you come screechy through the thing. Just put the mask on. It's not a problem. They're not the problem. And you just got to cast your mind back to 1945 when it comes to informer culture. That is exactly how the Nazis rose. Because they started the informer culture. Neighbor was informing on neighbor. You had these little bums, biscuit bodyguards, who ordinarily would just be lampposts in the street. You wouldn't bump into them if you drank a whole bottle of Ray and Nephew. But based on the fact of the structure of government now, they become a tick on your back. Remember, our children aren't scared of anything. And it would only take for a shift to bring them to a common place where they suffer a common fate. And it's a wrap for those guys. Biscuit bodyguards don't represent a threat.
But the thing is with that won't happen as a community because the community never looked at that and they'll never ever go down that road. And like you're saying, I do hear that the 2 natural selections, and we're not talking about natural selection, we're talking about a time of despair when people are now confused and they don't even know more or less what's going on and who's telling the truth, innit? Like, You are gonna find.
hear
You are
what
gonna
the-
find people. You are gonna find a lot of people, I reckon, going into them jobs, regardless.
No, well,
of them.
I'll say it like this, innit? I understand what you're saying, and if you think people are gonna flock to them jobs, all right, cool. But I'll let you know now, the people that get them jobs, when they walk down the road and they see someone look at them morally, like the morals of that job is what a lot of people are not gonna take that job for. It's a morally wrong job to take. And I'll let you know now, as much
But
as they
it's
be
the same
thinking,
as-
yeah, it's £11 an hour, bro.
But
But
it's the same
right
as-
now, they'd rather sit at home than work for them.
But
I'm
it's
telling
the
you,
same
a
as
lot
all
of
the
people would
rest of
rather
them.
sit at home than work for the government.
It's the same as community support officer. It's a support, same as a traffic warden. It's a support, same as all of them. But people still take them jobs, bruv. It doesn't matter
No, but
about
it's
the moral
different.
thinking of
It's
it. People
different.
still take it. People still
It's a
take the
moral
jobs.
thing.
Yeah, but people still
Yeah.
take them jobs, so that's what I'm saying. I've seen bailiffs, yeah, who are like 18, 19 young boys that I think that, what if you came to my house, I'll slap you in your face. But they still took a job as a bailiff. And these are all jobs that are bad moral jobs still, but people still take them. Because obviously there's cash involved. Bailiff, how much can you earn to be a bailiff? People go for bailiff jobs all the time, man.
No, bailiffs earn good money. Don't get it twisted.
Exactly. That's
No,
what
no,
I'm
And if you
saying.
become a sheriff,
It comes down to money.
very good money.
Yeah, it comes down to money. You don't. Help yourselves, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Press this button here right now. Jeez.
Yo, press this big red button.
Press this button. Here.
Button. Red one.